You said bell bottoms. Bell bottoms on what?
Stacks, shoes that make you that that's tall. They be like this instead of regular shoes. You have they call them stacks. Your heel be this big and your the sole of your feet be that.
Like, where did that come from? Like, why was
I
that the
don't know,
style?
man. I
Like,
think from Isaac Hayes movies.
Okay.
Back in the day,
Okay.
like Superfly, that kind of stuff.
okay.
Right, that's where that stuff comes
You had
from.
your favorite movies too? What was your favorite
Yeah,
movies?
well,
What was your
shoot,
favorite
back
movie of
then,
all time?
Superfly. Oh, I liked it. Bruce Lee, he had a Fist of Fury back then.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first movies I ever did go see was, what was it? Oh, Moses. That's what it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ten Commandments. That's the name of it.
Okay. Ten Commandments. You like that one? That song.
Yeah, that's when the Pharaoh took was misabusing all the people, and Moses came to take his people to God and split the sea in the hand in the middle so he can get away from them. That was really something back then to see something like that.
Who was the first person who kind of made you want to be like, I want to be like that, or I kind of want to, damn. Like, who was the
Stanley
first?
Clark.
Okay, Stanley Clark. Who was? I never heard Stanley Clark. What was?
Oh,
what
you
was
heard of Stanley Clark?
Okay.
Yes. People think they ain't heard of Stanley Clark, but now people know. If you done heard Stanley Clark, they don't know who it is. Like, he make a lot of movie background songs. So in the background, you be hearing him, like Passenger 657, Janet Jackson's, Poetic Justice.
Poetic Justice.
Yeah, it's a lot of movies. You think you might not know them, but you don't hear this music.
What was it about him? Like, what made you just? What was it about?
Well, I was so in the bass back then when I first heard of Stanley Clark. And he played like no other bass player to me. But afterwards, I found out some other guys play, but he was my favorite. But Stanley Clark, he was the man and playing bass to me.
So, who was the first artist when, like, they just had the women by storm? You can remember, and he was like, damn, how's this dude doing this?
Well, of course, Michael Jackson.
Okay, Michael Jackson.
He was a kid, and everybody liked that Michael Jackson. He was black. I don't care if he was white. He was a kid and could sing. That boy, he sang better when he was a kid than he was. I mean, yeah, Michael Jackson was really the man back then about singing. As far as that, other than that, yeah, Al Green.
Al Green. Okay, let's get on Al Green. I keep hearing Al Green. Was he the king? What was he the king of? They say.
Oh man, he just could sing. To me, he just a great artist. He could sing. He play all the guitar. He sing love songs. That's a baby making machine.
Baby making machine.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, have you ever been to an Al Green show, or have you ever been like, or just when he first came out, what was it like? Like, what was they saying? What was the girl? Like, what was it like? Like, what was that time like? Can you remember?
Back then, I was going back and forth down south with my next door neighbor. It was just a lot of different good times back then. You know, a lot of black music then, because before that I was listening to rock or white people music.
Why?
Because that was out mostly. Black people music didn't come out as much. Like the Beatles was there before. You know, I was listening to Eagles on the radio.
Why? Like, it was no black music out.
It was some black, yeah, like Nat King Cole and all that, but it wasn't like on radio for us listening to.
Why was it like that? Like, was that like racism, or was it
I'm
just
not
like?
sure.
They just
I'm not
wasn't
sure
breaking
why
through?
it was like that. Now we had a few, I'm pretty sure.
I remember you said Nat King Cole a couple times. Like,
Yeah, he was a great artist. He was very influential to me too.
Nat King Cole. Al Green, Nat King Cole.
Yeah, he was before all that, the Temptations and all that. Stevie Wonder, all of you was before all of them.
What about, where was you at when the Whispers came out? What was you doing?
I was older, 20s.
What was that time like?
It was a good time. Music, black music was very flowing then by then. Plenty of music back by then. Cameo, Earth, Wind and Fire, Rare Earth, all that stuff was been out. It was flowing really good.
What song just shut the whole club dance floor down every time it came on? Every time.
Flashlight.
What's Flashlight? How did that song go?
Flashlight.
I remember that, yeah, okay. Okay. That was that shit?
Yeah. And also, when we was a Heat Wave, it was a band called Heat Wave. They was a bad band. It's a lot of bands I'm not mentioning, but it's just, that was one of the, when they came out, Boogie Nights, all that. Always and Forever.
Always and Forever.
Super Soul Sister, Super Soul Sister. If you go over your sister's house, she'll turn you on to that stuff. She be playing it on the wax.
Yeah.
She got it. She still play that stuff.
Was Alicia always into music like that? Like was she always
Yeah, I
in
still
style?
found out Alicia was like she got a. I didn't know she liked it violin. Yeah,
You remember
she
first
always
meeting?
thought she could sing too.
You remember when y'all first met?
Yeah. So she used to go over my next door neighbor house and I see her. But that's when I first had seen her. Yeah, and then I used to see her when we used to be out. And then the one time she was going to school and I was going to work. And we was on the same bus and I told her, I said, hey, I'm going to marry you. We going to be married.
You had confidence, man. That was the
Yeah, I
man.
liked it. Yeah, I was in love when I seen her.
What was it about her, man? What was it like?
I don't know, she was just so pretty,
I
man.
got you.
Smart,
Got
you
you.
know.
I got you.
Yeah.
I heard you always had a car back then. What was your favorite car? You remember?
Well, my first car was a Chevy. I had a Chevy Impala, 1972.
It was a nice joint.
Yeah. We used to drive to school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of guys had cars back then.
You was the first person I seen with white walls, man. No lie. And then,
Oh yeah, this is about my second set of white walls.
what was those like? So give me the culture on the white wall, 'cause I just don't know. You know, I'm new. So what was the white walls thing like? When did that come in? What was that
It's
like?
like a white wall gangster thing. I don't know, it set your car off, man.
Right.
It just make it look nice and set it up higher. Back then, that was the thing. Set it up higher, just make your car look really nice.
Okay, see, that's dope. That's dope. What about Ohio Players?
Oh man, Sweet Sticky Thing, all that. Them was the guys. Them was man, they sounded so good.
It seemed like they gave you good memories.
Yes, they did.
What was a good time when Ohio Players, when you was listening to it? Was you with a girl? Was you driving? Was you like what was it?
Well, I don't even think I was driving back then when Ohio Players came out, like 14, 15. Came out with Honey, Hoochie Coo. Man, they was just, and they was on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they used to come on every Sunday on Channel 3. Ohio Players, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Saturday or Sunday they used to come on. Yeah, they used to be on TV all the time.
Yeah, that's dope. So when you started and got serious with your band and music, like, what was the best show you remember doing?
Well, when I first started playing really better, I went down south, I was in Mississippi, I took my bass with me, and I had a lot of time with myself. So I spent like 2 and 3, 4 hours daily playing my bass, learning. Well, Stanley Clarke was my boy back then. So I was learning a lot of Return into Forever. That's what was the name of the band. It was Stanley Clarke, some George Dukes. And back then I was met a guy that did gospel. He wanted me and a couple other guys to play for him, so we did gigs down south. I wasn't but like 14 or 15 then. Well, yeah,
Still young.
yeah. So, but me playing like every day on that bass when I got back to Cleveland,
Got you nice.
yeah, guys was like, man, y'all heard Doug. They come pick me up so y'all just can hear me play.
Did you have a nickname? Did you have a band name or no? You was
No,
always
just
Doug.
Dougie.
Dougie.
Yeah, Dougie.
What was Dougie like, man? Like when you got good, what was that Dougie like, man? Explain to the world what's wrong with that Dougie.
I don't know, it's just a lot of guys was really into, like I said, when I first was growing up, it was just a hell of musicians, just a lot of them. And it affected other guys my age, Rod Cunningham, it was just a lot of us. Tony Morrow, Joe Moon, it's just a whole lot of Brian Bowie. It's just a whole lot of us just was in the music and playing it. Me and Joe grew up, we was sitting up there contemplating when we ain't had drums and basses. Sitting up there drawing them in school. He draw drums, I draw basses. I mean, it was just, we was hooked.
So
It
for
didn't even add instruments, so it was hooked.
for somebody who don't understand drums, bass, none of that, well, how would you explain what's the hardest thing about it?
When you're young, it's getting the instrument.
Getting
After that, it's spending the time. You need to have the time, because if you want to do it, you're going to do it. So you're just spending the time learning your craft. And I don't think it's a little difficult, but you don't think of it as that because you want to learn your craft.